By the end of this video, you'll know which two legendary vocalists are pairing up to remake an 80s classic, who released an EP inspired by this massively popular HBO series, and what two albums being re-released today are about the unconscious thoughts and feelings of a car crash survivor. Let's rock. The original Australian versions of the first two AC/DC albums are being reissued today. Look for High Voltage and TNT on fresh single LP black vinyl pressings. Both feature different artwork and different track listings from their more familiar American counterparts, and are being released on vinyl in the US for the first time ever. In theaters June 6th, from the world of John Wick, Ballerina, the soundtrack of the Ana de Armas-led film, features a collaborative track from Evanescence singer Amy Lee and alt-pop singer Halsey. You can give that a listen in this week's playlist. Ballerina takes place during the events of John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, in case you're curious where exactly this story fits in the Wick-verse timeline. On a 3LP moss green edition, the 2004 sixth album from the Dutch progressive rock project known as Ayreon is being released today. It tells the story of a man who, after falling into a coma following a car crash, is confronted with his past, his emotions, and his current situation as he lays trapped inside his own mind. A 2LP vinyl reissue of Burnin Sky and a single turquoise vinyl drop of Holy Water from Bad Company are now available to take for a spin on your turntable. Did the boss imagine making a Jerry Lee Lewis-inspired album at one point in his storied career? Well, from the sounds of the previously unreleased track, Repo Man, me thinks the answer might be yes. The track is one of a handful released so far to tease the upcoming box set The Lost Tapes 2 from Springsteen, featuring 7 previously unreleased full albums worth of material. The 2025 tour continues tomorrow night in Manchester. Set It Free is the third single from Buckcherry's next album, Roar Like Thunder. Check it out in this week's playlist. The band is on the road most of the year. Check them out tonight at the Bronson Center in Ottawa. The 2019 remastered version of 1985's Shamrock Diaries gets a fresh vinyl reissue today on recycled green vinyl. This was Chris Rea's most successful album up to that time in his career. Alexis on Fire co-founder Dallas Green reissues his second solo album away from the band under the moniker City in Color, Bring Me Your Love, named after a poem by Charles Bukowski and featuring guest vocals from Gord Downie, is reissued today on a 2LP 180-gram vinyl edition. The track Waiting was a top 40 hit in Canada. A Different Kind of Pain originally dropped from Jacksonville rockers Cold in 2005. It's reissued today on a limited run of 1,000 numbered copies on a silver color 180-gram vinyl pressing. The 12-inch single featuring remixes of 5 tracks, primarily from the Dandy Warhol's 12th album, last year's Rockmaker, dropping on a 3-CD set featuring a full-length show recorded in San Antonio in 1985. Brothers in Arms from Dire Straits is reissued for its 40th anniversary. There's also a Super Deluxe Edition Blu-ray featuring a Dolby Atmos mix, a 5.1 mix, and audio of the original 1985 CD and cassette version and the 1985 vinyl version. And yeah, there's a difference. The second single from the next album from electronic alternative rockers Garbage is called Get Out of My Face, aka Bad Kitty. You can give that a listen in this week's curated playlist. Let All That We Imagine Be the Light drops on May 30th. The Happy Endings tour featuring Starcrawler kicks off in Orlando in September. On CD and vinyl, it's Stand and Deliver from Nashville melodic rockers Giant. It's only the band's 6th album since their formation in 1989. A few breakups and lineup changes are notorious for slowing down a band's output. The 2000 debut album from punk ska quintet Good Charlotte is available today on a single black vinyl drop. Original Deep Purple keyboardist John Lord recorded a series of solo albums in the early 70s with the London Symphony Orchestra. 2 of those albums are being reissued on color vinyl pressings today. Look for Gemini Suite on black, white, orange, and pink splatter vinyl, and the live album Windows on Orange Crush color vinyl. Love Chant is on the way this fall from the Lemonheads. The single Deep End is paired with a cover of the Townes Van Zandt track Sad Cinderella. Both are available on all of the usual major streamers. A very limited number of 12-inch singles will be available June 13th, and the video for Deep End is in this week's playlist. The Lemonheads are currently touring Australia. featuring 3 new tracks and 5 additional live tracks. The deluxe edition of 2024's From Zero drops today from Linkin Park. Look for the band at the Welcome to Rockville Festival in Daytona Beach tomorrow night. Don't Let the Devil Ride is a classic 1999 gospel blues track originally sung by Bishop Neil Robertson. It gets an update from North Mississippi All-Stars on their forthcoming Still Shakin' full-length. You can look for that on June 6th. In Memory of Paul Di'Anno compiles 12 tracks from the late original Iron Maiden vocalist, including 2 previously unreleased tracks, on a single CD or a yellow vinyl drop. Future Days is the closing track from Pearl Jam's 2013 album Lightning Bolt. It's been featured more recently in the Seattle-based Season 2 Episode 5 of The Last of Us. And the band has dropped a limited edition 4-song, 45 RPM, clear with black smoke color vinyl release, The Last of Us EP. That's available exclusively to registered members of the 10 Club, and Pearl Jam fans know what that's all about. The Dark Matter World Tour concludes this weekend in Pittsburgh. Sentient is the recently issued collaboration collection from Santana, now available exclusively in Europe on this vinyl drop with an alternate cover. All 3 original albums from the 90s run of shoegaze gods Slowdive dropped today on a single black vinyl pressing. The British band heads back across the pond after tonight's show in Salt Lake City. Octane is the 8th album released from LA prog rockers Spock's Beard. This originally dropped in 2005 and it is remastered specifically for this vinyl release. And curiously enough, this is the 2nd vinyl issue in this week's video about a man involved in a car accident. Take a look at the animated video for the surprise remake of the Journey classic Faithfully, recorded by Steve Perry and outlaw country legend Willie Nelson in this week's curated playlist. Perry shared, "No one has a voice or vocal phrasing anything like Willie Nelson. Singing this duet with Willie has been something I've always wanted to do. What a wonderful experience it was to finally sing with Willie." Nelson added, "Working with Steve Perry on Faithfully was a meaningful experience. It was a pleasure to collaborate on this song." All proceeds go to the nonprofit Farm Aid organization, and Nelson is among the many artists already confirmed for Farm Aid 40, September 20th, at Huntington Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Unavailable on vinyl since 2012, House of Gold and Bones Part 1 from Stone Sour is reissued today on 180-gram vinyl. The band's indefinite hiatus continues. Unforgivable is the latest video from Stryper's 2024 release When We Were Kings. The world's best-known Christian heavy metal band has a series of South American concert dates beginning in July. Alienation is on the way from the new lineup of 3 Days Grace, which features twin lead vocalists since the return of Adam Gontier after a 12-year absence. The album is scheduled to drop August 22nd. The band is part of the Welcome to Rockville Festival all weekend in Daytona Beach. May 23rd, that's next Friday actually, is when the next album from When Rivers Meet drops. It's called Addicted to You. The single, When Rivers Meet, is obviously not the album's title track, 4th single from the new album. You can give it a listen in this week's curated playlist. Tickets are on sale for a short run of shows this month in the UK. And on Aqua Blue vinyl, the very successful 1988 release from White Lion, Pride, is reissued today.